You just went under contract on a massive commercial property. The clock is officially ticking. But how do you make absolutely sure you don't lose millions of dollars to hidden liabilities? Well, by the end of this explainer, you're going to have the exact step-by-step blueprint used by pros to navigate the inspection period, confirm your underwriting assumptions, and completely bulletproof a real estate deal before your deposit goes non-refundable. 45 days, that's it. That is literally all the time you typically get to execute this high-stakes investigative mission. Now, a month and a half might sound like a decent amount of time at first, but wait until you see the absolute mountain of physical, financial, and legal data you have to dig through to guarantee the property isn't a ticking time bomb. Look, the due diligence period is not just some administrative formality. It's a massive financial stake. Every single pillar of inspection we're exploring today is a critical mission. The goal? Mitigate your risk and save your earnest money deposit from going hard on a terrible deal. So how do you actually survive this closing process without losing your mind? Well, let's break this entire timeline down into 5 critical pillars of protection. Chapter 1. Physical and environmental risks. Digging into the dirt. Okay, first things first, you need to know about RECs, which stands for Recognized Environmental Conditions. When environmental professionals go out to conduct a Phase 1 assessment, this is exactly what they're hunting for in the historical records. RECs are basically the ultimate red flag. They indicate environmental liabilities that could entirely derail your deal. And if they actually find a REC, the situation escalates fast. You move straight from Step 1, which is just the Phase I paperwork and visual review, directly into Step 2, Phase 2 intrusive physical testing. We're talking drilling soils, sampling groundwater, the whole 9 yards. And if contamination is found, you immediately pivot to Step 3. You aggressively negotiate holdbacks, demand remediation, or you just terminate the contract entirely. Now moving on to the building itself. For this, you'll bring in licensed engineers for a property condition assessment. They are going to rigorously inspect the core assets. So we're looking at roofing integrity, the HVAC and electrical systems, structural foundations, and even ADA compliance for things like ramps and parking. You cannot guess on these items. You need absolute ground truth. So what do you actually do with all this engineering data? The final report is going to split your liabilities into 2 main categories. First, immediate capital needs. These are unsafe conditions that will literally cost you cash in year 1. And second, 10-year replacement reserves. You take these exact numbers, plug them straight back into your underwriting model, and see if the deal actually survives. Chapter 2. The financial reality check. Because here's the reality. The building might be perfectly sound physically, but the numbers could be complete fiction. We have to actively hunt for catastrophic red flags in the seller's records. That means scouring the leases for unrecorded oral agreements, checking the operating statements to make sure they aren't artificially suppressing maintenance expenses to make the NOI look better, and verifying that common area maintenance charges aren't overbilling tenants, which creates a huge clawback risk. To actually verify what's in those leases, we use something called tenant Estoppel certificates. Think of these like a lie detector for your rent roll. They are legally binding statements signed by the tenants themselves, confirming their exact rent and explicitly stating there are no secret unrecorded concessions. If a tenant suddenly claims the seller promised them 3 months of free rent, but your lease copy says absolutely nothing about it, well, you just uncovered a hidden financial trap. Chapter 3. Legal and insurance safeguards. Let's talk about the title commitment review. Schedule A, that's the easy stuff. It gives you the clean, on-paper ownership details. But Schedule B-B, that is where the bodies are buried. This schedule lists the hidden encumbrances, unrecorded mechanics liens, and strange easements. If you spot unacceptable encumbrances here, you have to issue formal objection letters immediately. Next up, we execute some rapid-fire land use validations. You'll get an ALTA survey and zoning checks to verify boundary lines, spot any structural encroachments from the neighbors, and validate the exact square footage. You are basically confirming the zoning status and parking ratios to ensure this property strictly complies with municipal codes. And you definitely can't skip the loss runs analysis. You need to demand 3 to 5 years of the seller's historical insurance claims. This is going to reveal all those recurring nightmares the seller probably isn't mentioning to you. Repeated water damage, a history of slip and fall lawsuits. You have to identify these to ensure the property can actually be insured at the expense line you originally underwrote. Chapter 4. The 45-day closing countdown. Now, this timeline we're looking at, it is not sequential, It is a parallel sprint. While you are executing the PSA and opening escrow, you are simultaneously auditing leases and issuing those estoppels. As the third-party physical reports and title commitments start rolling in, you're synthesizing all of it to issue your objections, all while finalizing your loan documents. It is a highly orchestrated, very busy overlap. Then we hit day 30, contingency removal. This is the ultimate point of no return. By now, you've confirmed lender approval, secured all your estoppel receipts, and formally executed the removal letter. At this exact moment, your earnest money goes non-refundable. The capital is officially locked in. Chapter 5, Day 46, Taking Over. You made it to the finish line, but taking ownership immediately triggers the post-closing integration protocol. And this is a blistering operational sprint. You're issuing formal tenant notifications, transferring utility and vendor accounts so the lights stay on, securing your final title policy, and immediately executing financial onboarding into your property management software. This is the absolute reality of commercial real estate. You cannot leave a single stone unturned, and you literally cannot afford to waste a single day. Millions of dollars in capital are at stake. So, are your 5 pillars strong enough to survive the countdown?